Welcome to Witches in Yoga Pants, your cozy corner of the cosmos where modern magic meets everyday life. We're here to explore magic, mindfulness, and personal growth with a grounded, no-fluff vibe. Whether you're into moon rituals, tarot spreads, or just trying to survive Mercury retrograde, you are in the right place. So get ready to disrupt some old patterns, explore what it means to reclaim your power, and remember who you really are. So pull up your yoga mat, light a candle, and let's get into it. Welcome back. If you're joining me for part 2 of this Archangel series, I'm really glad you're here. And if you're just tuning in for the first time, you don't need to go back and listen to the previous episode to understand this one, though it may add some texture. Before we dive in, I want to gently restate something that feels important to ground us in again. When we talk about archangels, we're not talking about beings that are unreachable or reserved for a select few. Archangels aren't bound by form, gender, or hierarchy in the way humans tend to imagine. They are expressions of intelligence, support, and guidance that meet us through energy. And that energy comes to us through our nervous system, beliefs, and intuitive language. Because of that, not all people experience an archangel in the exact same way. Archangels also don't intervene without invitation. They respond to awareness, intention, and consent. You don't need any special training or perfect wording to work with them, just an openness and a willingness to receive the support. With that in mind, today we're continuing this series by exploring 3 more archangels, each with a very distinct energy and each have a specific area of support. We're talking about Archangel Metatron, Archangel Ariel, and Archangel Uriel. When we talk about Archangel Metatron, we're stepping into a very different kind of energy. Metatron holds a significant place in Jewish mysticism and lore, where he's often described as a divine scribe, the one who records, organizes, and translates divine intelligence into forms that exist within the human understanding. His energy often feels precise, structured, and intelligent, and there's a sense of order and clarity. Many people describe Metatron as deeply grounding and balancing, especially during times when life feels chaotic, overwhelming, or mentally overstimulating. Metatron is especially linked to highly sensitive people, and in particular, sensitive children. Children who feel overwhelmed by noise, emotion, stimulation, or expectations often resonate strongly with Metatron's energy. He brings containment and safety, a sense that the world can feel manageable once again. The same support extends to adults who may feel like life hits them a little harder than it seems to hit everyone else. People who feel out of sync with time, systems, or expectations often find Metatron's presence incredibly stabilizing. His energy helps regulate, organize, and anchor. One of Metatron's most fascinating and honestly most practical qualities is his relationship with time. Metatron works beyond linear time. And for many people, this shows up as what can only be described as time bending. Time expanding, time compressing, time behaving differently than expected. This is something that I've experienced very personally. I ask Metatron to help with time almost every single day. If I'm getting ready in the morning and I feel rushed or overwhelmed, I'll ask him to bend time so that I have time to move through what I need to do for my morning routine without stress. And somehow, things shift and I'm not frantic. I'm not late, and time feels spacious instead of constricting. I've also experienced this repeatedly with travel. Flights that are supposed to be longer somehow pass quickly, delays resolve, and timing aligns. And this energy isn't meant to be about controlling outcomes, but it's about easing into the relationship with time itself. Metatron doesn't force time to behave in a certain way. He helps recalibrate how we move through it. For people who feel constantly behind, pressured, or overwhelmed by schedules and expectations, Metatron's energy can be profoundly relieving. It helps remove the sense of being chased by time and replaces it with a feeling of being supported by it. Beyond time, Metatron is also incredibly helpful for people who are struggling. Those who feel disoriented, overstimulated, or unsure how to exist comfortably in the world as it is. His energy provides structure and order. A sense that can make things make sense, even if they don't quite yet. There's that rhythm underneath the chaos, that you're not failing at life. You're learning how to navigate it in a system that wasn't designed for sensitivity. Metatron has been connected to the colors pink, green, or violet. And honestly, for me, he shows up with no color at all, which is something I didn't realize until I started working on this episode. You can call on Metatron anytime you need a little help functioning within the pace and demands of this world. Next up, we have Archangel Ariel. When we talk about Ariel, the energy shifts. There's something unmistakably alive about her presence. She is grounded, vibrant, and quietly powerful. Ariel's color is almost always experienced as a soft, pale pink. Many people sense her energy as a gentle, glowing pink, sometimes with flashes of green. She often appears with red hair and green eyes. Some experience her holding a bag of coins. This is symbolic and a reminder that abundance and prosperity don't have to be heavy or earned through struggle. Ariel is deeply connected to the natural world, so animals, wild spaces, forests, oceans, mountains, it all falls under her care. She works closely with environmental protection, wildlife, and the energetic balance of the earth itself. People who feel most themselves outdoors or around animals or immersed in nature often resonate strongly with Ariel's energy. She also works closely with elementals, so fairies, nature spirits, and the subtle intelligence of the land. Those who work with crystals, earth-based practices, or plant medicine frequently feel Ariel's presence. Her energy helps bridge the spiritual and the physical and reminds us that magic isn't separate from our daily lives. It lives in the body, in the land, and in our breath. One of the ways Ariel communicates most powerfully is through the wind. She is often experienced as controlling or moving the wind, carrying messages on the breeze. For many people, her presence is felt when the wind suddenly picks up, shifts direction, or seems to respond in real time. Standing in the wind can feel like standing inside of her energy. It's expansive, it's powerful, and it's alive. There's something deeply activating about this. The wind clears stagnant energy. It moves emotion and creates space for new beginnings. Ariel uses this movement to communicate, encourage, and energize. Messages don't always arrive as words. Sometimes they arrive as a feeling, a sensation, or a sudden sense of knowing. Ariel is strongly associated with manifestation, synchronicities, and signs. Her energy supports abundance and prosperity without the need to force or hustle, but by coming into alignment with ourselves. Ariel helps clear blocks around receiving and encourages trust in the natural flow of resources. When something aligns suddenly or effortlessly, Ariel's influence is often present. She's also deeply connected to new beginnings. She shows up when it's time to start fresh, whether it's a new project, a relocation, a bold decision, or a shift in self-belief. And she helps us release insecurity and self-doubt. Ariel supports goal setting, overcoming obstacles, and especially with those rooted in fear or hesitation. She helps people step into their strength without hardening and reminding them that power can be both grounded and graceful. She's also known for helping people determine where to live, guiding choices around home, land, or environment in ways that support both practical needs and energetic alignment. And yes, Ariel carries strong girl power energy. There's a playful confidence in her presence, an unapologetic encouragement to take up space, trust yourself, and move forward without shrinking. When Ariel shows up, there's often a sense of vitality returning, movement, momentum, and a reminder that life wants to move through you. When we move into the energy of Archangel Uriel, the quality of the space changes again. Uriel's presence feels illuminating, like a steady light being turned on in a dim room. Uriel is most often associated with the color yellow. Like several of the archangels, Uriel is traditionally depicted as male, but in my experience, this energy is interchangeable. It's sometimes distinctly masculine, sometimes feminine, and sometimes neutral. I personally experience Uriel mostly as feminine. Uriel's primary concern is clarity. She governs claircognizant, that deep inner knowing that arrives without explanation. The kind of knowing that doesn't come from thinking or reasoning, but from something suddenly clicking into place. There's no mental spiraling, no inner debate. The insight simply lands, and with it comes a sense of certainty and calm. You might not immediately understand every step that follows, but somehow you just know it's the right direction. This makes Uriel a powerful ally for decision-making, problem-solving, and moments when clarity just feel out of reach. I call on her a lot for my business decisions. She helps align intellect with intuition, allowing the mind to become a vessel for truth rather than noise. Uriel is deeply supportive when it comes to achieving goals and aspirations, especially when the path forward feels confusing or blocked. Her energy excels at finding practical solutions and grounded insights that can be applied in real life. One of Uriel's most powerful roles is pouring light into situations that feel dark. Times of grief, disappointment, uncertainty, or emotional heaviness are often when her presence is felt most strongly. She doesn't bypass pain, but she does bring perspective. Uriel supports clarity and understanding in a way that renews faith, hope, inner peace, and harmony. This doesn't mean pretending that everything is fine, but it does help us to see that even when things feel like they're going wrong, they might still be unfolding exactly the way they need to. Uriel helps us find blessings through adversity. And through this energy, setbacks begin to make sense. Painful experiences become teachers, and what once felt like failure reveals itself as redirection. This is where Uriel's work with the divine plan becomes specifically clear. She helps us trust that there is a larger intelligence moving through our lives, even when we don't understand it. When you're caught in the question of why, Uriel doesn't always offer immediate answers, but she does offer reassurance that nothing is wasted and everything is working toward your highest good. She is deeply involved in emotional healing. She helps heal painful memories, long-held burdens, by bringing understanding rather than suppression. Through this light, fear softens. Emotional blocks begin to release, and what once felt overwhelming becomes workable. When Uriel shows up, there's a quiet realization underneath it all, a sense that even if you don't have all the answers yet, you're still okay, still supported, and still on track. As we close this second part of this series, I want to bring us back to something simple. You've now been introduced to 3 very different archangelic energies: Metatron, Ariel, and Uriel. Each one carries a distinct frequency, a different kind of support, and a unique way of meeting us where we are. And none of them are meant to replace your intuition, your agency, or your lived experience. If anything, they're here to support it. You might notice that you feel more drawn to one of these energies than the other. Maybe Metatron's steadiness and ability to work with time feels comforting. Maybe Ariel's connection to nature, movement, and courage resonates deeply. Or maybe Uriel's clarity, insight, and illumination feel like exactly what you've been needing. There's no hierarchy here. There's no right one to work with. The energy you're drawn to often reflects what your system is asking for in this moment. So, as we move through the rest of this series, I want to invite you to stay curious. Notice what you feel. Notice what shifts. Notice what shows up in unexpected ways as you begin to ask for assistance and guidance. See what shows up through timing, nature, insight, or subtle reassurance. You don't need to see or hear anything extraordinary for support to be present. Often it arrives in the ordinary moments, gently reminding you that you're not navigating this life alone. So, until next time, notice how time supports you, pay attention to the signs and movements around you, and trust the clarity that's beginning to emerge.